Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another live stream. Today is a special episode because we have a blind sniff live stream today. And I must admit, today was a great day at work. It's just a beautiful day here. We may get some rain tonight here in Texas, but fantastic weather. I'm in a fantastic mood. Life is good. And what better way to do a blind sniff session than when you're feeling good? And I must also admit that this is my favorite way to test perfume because you just take all the BS out of it. You know, you take all the marketing, all the notes that Parfumo or Fragrantica or base notes, whatever you use, tells you is in the fragrance, and you literally just sniff. And I'll tell you what, I have discovered some amazing fragrances via this exact method. And actually, thanks to Armando, well, first of all, just thanks to Armando for setting this up again, but also he set up this previous multiple times, actually, I have to say. One of my perfume god people who wants to remain anonymous set a couple of these up, and Armando set a couple of these up. So if you are interested in kind of getting my first impressions on sometimes some funny scents, like I know in one of the blind stream sessions that we did, he included some Boudicca the Victorious, which was crazy because I actually liked it, but I liked the opening the first couple hours, but I hated the dry down. It really is the cliche of falling apart in the base, that Boudicca the Victorious. Whereas he included I'll show you some vintages that I discovered thanks to this exact session. Well, not this one today, but this setup, if you will. So this was one that totally blew me away. Perrac pour Homme. It's in one of my blind sniff sessions. If you check it out, it's been a while since I've worn it, but I remember just being absolutely shocked by the quality, the price, what you could find it for at the time. It was 1982. It's like a animalic kind of leathery take on a fougere. And just amazing stuff for sort of a hidden gem, if you will. You know, there are vintage Hall of Fame fragrances, there are discontinued gems, and then there's these hidden gems, which very few people know about or talk about. This fragrance just blew me away. So I'm very glad I was able to secure a bottle, but that was only because of the blind sniff session, thanks to Armando. Some other things that I discovered in a live stream or a blind sniff would be something like this. Jean-Louis Trintignant, which I talked about on the channel previously. You can, I don't think I've done a video yet on this, but if you plug it in, I think you'll maybe find a video or two where I did discuss Jean-Louis Trintignant. So I've discovered some amazing vintage, hard to find fragrances thanks to this exact method. We talked about some other previous blind streams where there was some niche in there. There was some modern designers. I remember there was a Jill Sander. It was like Man Absolute or something like that. I forget the exact name. But I remember thinking, man, this smells like 1 foot in vintage, 1 foot modern, but there was like an oud note in there. And so sometimes when you're smelling for the very first time, you're trying to kind of place where you're smelling for quality, you're smelling for intricacy, you're smelling for the detail of the notes, how everything kind of blends together, what era you think it came from, all of that stuff. So this is the best way to sniff perfume for me. It's just impossible to do it when you go to a store because everything is labeled. You know exactly what you're smelling a lot of times. But this setup is literally my absolute favorite. So let's do scent of the day. Drop your scent of the day in the comments. I need to get back to doing more live streams. I feel like I've gotten away. I got in my groove of just doing videos, and I really enjoy the interaction. So let's catch up on some comments. Let me see what you guys are wearing today. I'll show you my scent of the day. It's an absolute banger. And I got a compliment today, and not like a fake compliment, but a real, true compliment. And I'll tell you how I got it. So I wore Val de Nuit Extrait today, which has completely blown me away. And I've been putting this in an atomizer and spraying it, by the way. So even right now, 8 hours later, I smell absolutely amazing. Maybe the best galbanum I've ever smelled. I mean, the galbanum in this is, especially the Extrait. The EDT, you know, you could point to things like number 19 or some other scents that are better, but the Extrait of Val de Nuit is mind-blowingly deep and complex, and just amazing notes, green notes, tobacco notes, earthy notes, and it really does have that propeller-like twirl The notes just seem to kind of come at you like you've ever seen like a World War II propeller style airplane fly through like a thing of smoke, and all of the smoke kind of twirls with the propeller. It just feels like all of the notes here just blend and twirl like a twister. It's amazing. So I wore this to work today, and they actually had like a volunteer drive, which I did not do, but a couple of the people that did volunteer were they rebuilt some bikes and stuff for kids and the less fortunate, and they were loading it onto a truck. And so I was walking by and I said, hey, you guys need some help? They were like, sure. So I started grabbing some bikes and helping them put them up on the truck. And the guy who was grabbing the bikes from me said, man, what cologne are you wearing today? That smells amazing. And I was like, and what's funny is the guy next to me who sits next to me at work and knows I'm a big time frag head, he just instantly rolled his eyes because he was like, oh my God, you are feeding his addiction here. So we had a chuckle about that, but I told him, I said, it's Guerlain Val de Nuit. And he was like, oh, I'll never be able to remember or smell or spell that. But a bona fide true compliment out in the wild. So that was funny. All right, let's do some comments and then we will get to sniffing. We will get to sniffing these bad boys. I can't wait. I can't wait. And Armando pays pretty close attention to my to my collection and what I have. So I'm really excited to see what he put together for me. Armando rocks indeed. Thank you, Armando. Thanks for being here, brother. Thank you for being here, Dushan. Tom Ford Noir de Noir. I got a sample of that, so I can't wait to talk about it. It is here somewhere. That's Lost Cherry, Bitter Peach, Rose de Amalfi. I can't find it now, but I did get a sample from that Amaru Paris guy. AmaruParis.fr is his decanting service. He sent me a Noir de Noir sample, so that'll be exciting. I'm excited to get to know that one. Hope the blind sniff test goes well. Sent to the night. Drakkar Noir. Drakkar is beautiful. We were discussing fragrances today. This is the vintage Drakkar at work because the gentleman I was talking about earlier was saying, why don't you just, now that he is trying to find some of these old scents I've been talking about. So he said, why don't you just get me like an old bottle of Drakkar or Polo Green? I was like, that would be great for you. But I told him go for the Cosmere version. And he's like, what is this? There's versions now. So frag heads in the making. I'm turning everyone around me into frag heads. But this is a vintage Cosmere of Drakkar. Fantastic stuff. One of the best modern fresh. It really revolutionized, if you think about it, freshness in the 1980s. It was so revolutionary that when Pierre Bourdon made Cool Water in the late 80s, he actually said he specifically tried to make it different enough from Drakkar so nobody could claim that he copied it. That's how influential this was, is that, Pierre Bourdon kind of worked around this. He didn't want it to be seen as a take on Drakkar Noir. So that just goes to show how influential Drakkar is. It's fantastic. Great for the warmer weather. Ajay, good to see you, brother. Ensar Oud Private Blend and Tiger Lust Cambogia. I've never smelled either of those, but I bet they're amazing. You'll have to tell me how they are later. Joining your live first time. I'm new. Love your stuff. Welcome. Well, thank you, Mr. Singh. Good to have you, my friend. If the vintage is your dream, take notes, like the stream. Well, do like the stream. That actually does help. Zoologist Moth. Moth is amazing. Moth is fantastic. It is, Moth is sort of like 3 fragrances in one. And I need to review this one of these days because it has these different, I don't know if you get this as well, but it has these different layers. Like in the beginning, you get these incense notes and peppery, spicy clove and cumin. But then the heart is this beautiful, almost Guerlain-like floral heart. And I know that's a big statement, but it is. The heliotrope, the iris, the mimosa, jasmine, lily of the valley, and rose is just brilliant. And then the dry down is resinous, oudy. It's almost like 3 fragrances that shouldn't go together, and yet they work beautifully. I really think that perfumer, I think he's a Japanese fellow. Anaba Tamu is his name. I think it's a guy, Anaba Tamu, and his stuff is very detailed. You can tell how much time and effort he put into this. It's definitely the opposite of some of these houses that just come together and just kind of throw shit together and staple it together and give you something rehashed and reheated, and the fragrance smells as sloppy as a soup sandwich. You know, it's just the usual shit you smell at the designer level. It's none of that. Moth is for people like us. So good day, Ram and Chat. Wearing Gucci Guilty Absolute. Fantastic stuff. I actually reviewed it on the channel, believe it or not. So Gucci Guilty Absolute. Got a review finally. There's a lot of other Gucci's I still want to talk about. Gucci Guilty Cologne. Probably for the summer is a review I'll get around to doing. And then also Gucci Pour Homme 2, which is the black tea scent that is so relaxing to me. I love Gucci Pour Homme 2. So more Gucci reviews to come. But Absolute is really something. And if you really love Gucci Guilty Absolute and you're new to the channel and you haven't heard me say this yet, I would highly recommend check out Opus 11 while you still can, if there's still bottles floating around. These two are kind of two peas in a pod. I almost treat this as like a backup of this, or this as a backup of this, you know. Opus 11 is fantastic stuff. It's even more intense than Gucci Guilty Absolute, if that's even possible. Opus 11 is even more intense. So crazy. Hello, Dwayne. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. Stop doing that, Boz. It's really stupid, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It's really, really dumb. Like really dumb. Like really dumb, dude. So stop. I'm gonna block your ass. Yeah, don't believe him. Mohammed, welcome. With a white shirt, you got to be wearing Iris or Clean Frag. Yeah, I wore, like I said, I wore Val de Nuit. This is actually a cream shirt. It is not a white shirt. Scent of the day, Val de Nuit. Calvin by, oh my God, you guys are wearing some bangers. Calvin is definitely getting a Vintage Hall of Fame review on the channel one of these days. This is probably my favorite Calvin Klein fragrance of all time. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. I'm going to buy that Trintignant. I think you'd love it. I think you would absolutely love it. If you like wearing some of the vintages I recommended previously, like Hashish Homme, which the black is good, but the original Homme is better. I talked about this a couple days ago whenever I did the, well, maybe I haven't talked about black on stream. I think I told Armando a little bit about it, but this is a flanker that Rich Mitch very kindly secured for me and sent my way from England. But if you like the original Hashish Homme, if you like wearing these type of vintage scents, you'll absolutely dig that Trintignant. Trintignant will be right up your alley. Aramis JHL, that's amazing. I love JHL. El Cosmico, DS and Durga. Never smelled that one. There's a lot of DS and Durgas, actually, I've never smelled, but they've got some quality stuff. That's a house I definitely would like to dive into more. Jubilation 25 Woman is beautiful. What ended up happening is Dushan sent me a sample of Jubilation 25 Woman, and I ended up loving it so much I had to get a bottle. I got a vintage sort of, I don't know what these were. I don't know if these were like testers for the stores, or like they sent these to people like Persolays who get free bottles, you know, and call them samples. But I actually do really like Persolays, even though that's a little bit of a dig at him for his free bottle thing. I like Persolays. I think he is one of the good guys. But yeah, I don't know if these were the type of bottles they sent to people in the press back then or what. I have no clue. But this is good. Jubilation for Women is amazing. It is an amazing Chypre. Like if you like Diaghilev, Jubilation 25 for Women, at least in this form, is really something. But it does have a lot of cumin that's not listed, so you got to be careful. Wow, Dior Homme Parfum, Ashley. Very nice. Very nice. I love Dior Homme Parfum. Spiritu. Spiritu is amazing. I reviewed it on the channel. It really reminded me of like being a child at my grandmother's house in upstate New York. It was a real emotional fragrance, even though it wasn't, you don't smell much perfumery like that in the niche world. It felt very detailed, but soft. I mean, you know, it's almost a crime to compare it to something like Chanel, but it did have that sort of Chanel class to it. You know, it didn't use the big amber woods. It wasn't a Initio type brand or anything like that. So I was impressed. I need to smell more. And there's going to be a review of Little Song coming up soon. I'm really impressed with that Little Song fragrance from him. So good house. Parfum de Marly Byerly. I've never smelled that one, or the Zaharoff. Actually, I've only smelled Zaharoff Signature, I think. Hey, Geffy, good to see you, man. It's been a while. How are things in China, mate? If for Men, that is a fragrance you very much introduced me to. I don't know if you still have bottles of that, but if you do, and if you like something like Jaipur Homme by Boucheron, this is amazing. This is like an Italian take on Jaipur Homme. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, I really appreciate you introducing me to that, Anuj. Howdy, Rachel. Good to see you. It's been a while. All right, I got to spray something. It's been 16 minutes. I haven't even opened it. Look, it's still sealed. So this will be ever so satisfying. Goodbye, smiley face. Let's see what we have in here. Well, I know what we have. We have 6 vials of perfume. But let's see what they smell like, shall we? I have high hopes for these because Armando usually comes through in the clutch. Okay, so number 1 is going to go on my left wrist. Let me keep track of where I'm putting these. Let me try to put these in order so my OCD doesn't go crazy. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, let's do number 1. Numero uno. Let me make a note just so I don't forget. Okay. So number 1, left wrist. All right, let's do this, baby. Let me see the juice color. Aha. Okay. I think that Mancera Tonka Cola ruined my nose, though. So God knows what we'll get today. But I'll give you my honest opinion, one way or the other. Ooh, that is very fresh and peppery. Fresh and peppery. Something zingy tarts kind of coming in underneath. This smells like a This smells like a 1990s era. I don't think there was real niche at the time. I wonder if this is like a L'Artisan or something. But for some reason, the fresh undertone of number 1 is definitely giving me 90s vibes. You know what I just realized? I just realized we need the damn key. I hope I still have the key. I guess I should have put it with the damn thing. All right, let's find the key, shall we? Aha! The key! The key! Can't do a blind sniff session without a key. Come on, Ramsey. Okay. Here we go. Look, still sealed. Just so you guys know I'm not cheating. Okay. So, numero uno. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. But it almost has... I wonder if this is a Santa Maria Novella or like a... gosh, I don't know. Maybe like a L'Artisan or one of the Sisley's or MPEG fragrances. It smells quality. I'll tell you that. I like it. But it almost has this 90s freshness with this diesel-like undertone, you know? There's almost like this leathery undertone coming through. But like a fresher, almost like a fresh, a well-made fresh leather is an easy way for me to maybe describe it. Maybe spicy. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some masculine florals in here, maybe like Jasmine Sambac or something like that, and then probably oak moss. This is interesting. The freshness keeps taking me back to something from the 90s, though. I gotta know. I have to know. Okay, so there's 2. There's 6. There's 3. I'm gonna keep these in here, so because they're almost like semi-transparent. They're not, but I'm gonna keep them in there. Okay, so there's 1. Can you guys see through it? You can almost see through it. I'm not trying hard though. This is quality stuff. I really like this. This could be like if you're in a hot climate like me in Texas and you want to wear, you know, a heavy fragrance, but you don't want to wear your Bellamy's or, you know, your real heavy winter ambery type. This isn't ambery, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe some Artemisia in the top with like pepper, chili, spicy thing going on, nutmeg with like a somewhat of a floral heart, but offset by this very clean, burning leather-like scent underneath. Spicy, but it has that weird 90s freshness, almost like you would expect something like Replay is much more fresh, lavender fresh, but imagine if you just took some of this freshness of something like Replay and blended it with this very strange sort of clean burning leather. And you know what? It's reminding me a little bit, just a little bit of this. It's reminding me a little bit of the way that the leather was done in Nostalgia by Santa Maria Novella. This was also, I believe, an Armando recommendation, and this is fantastic stuff. So Nostalgia is probably my closest comparison, but I think from memory the opening of this is much more sort of like outrageous. The opening of this is crazy. Like, I mean, the first 30 seconds or a minute, but then it starts becoming much more vanillic than this is turning. All right, I got to know what this is. This is interesting. I really like this. Let's see what we have here. Wode by Boudicca, you bastard. Another Boudicca. God damn it, Armando. I like it, though. Wode. Blue bottle, 2008, discontinued. Giza showing. Okay, I got to look the damn notes up. Does anyone know Wode by? Is it Boudicca or Boudicca? It's a brand I own 0 bottles from. Oh, sorry, it's not Boudicca the Victorious. It's Boudicca. Boudicca? Wode by Boudicca. So maybe the blue bottle is discontinued is what Armando is saying, because it does still say it's in production. Okay, so we have black pepper in the top. We have angelica root, which is angelica and juniper are giving it that greenness. And there's pink pepper. There's bergamot and dewdrop in the top. So dewdrop is probably giving it that weird 90s freshness. There is jasmine in the heart. There's cumin, saffron, rose, and tuberose, and styrax, amber, castoreum, leather, opium, musk, blonde tobacco, cedar wood, gaiac wood, hemlock, sandalwood, tonka bean, and tree moss. 2008 instead of 1998. But what's interesting is, you know, Giza Schoen worked with a opium note, or sorry, he worked with a hemlock note when he did oh man, I can almost see the bottle, but I can't think of the name. From 2003, I believe it was. All right, I gotta see what fragrance I'm thinking of. It was for Ormond Man. He worked with hemlock when he made Ormond Man, which is a very good, like for the office, just classically nice type of fragrance. This is much more interesting than Ormond Man. But imagine if you took Ormond Man and maybe kind of mixed it with imagine if you took Ormond Man and mixed it with kind of the leathery notes of Nostalgia. Very interesting this is. Very, very interesting, Armando. So Wode by, it's not Boudicca, it's Boudicca. 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 That's a brand I've never heard of. So the scent was re-released in 2014. So apparently the original blue bottle was discontinued. That's awesome, man. This is going directly on the wish list. This is very good. I don't know how you find these. Honestly, I have no clue how you find these, Armando, but damn. That is good stuff, brother. The illustrious Ram, thank you for the super chat, mate. I really appreciate it, Ahmed. Very, very kind of you. And yes, even though I don't ask for them, with all the crazy stuff going on, it is much appreciated. Abbey Rouge dress code is amazing, by the way. Probably one of my favorite guilty pleasure fragrances because it is sweet. It is slightly sweet. It is slightly sweet. So yes. So let me go back. Let's catch up on some comments. But number one's a winner. 30 minutes. We'll do number two. Let's catch up on some comments for 5 minutes, and then we will do number two. This was a good start, Armando. You tricked me though with Boudicca. I figured that was Boudicca, the victorious, but it's not. It's Boudicca. Okay. I have to dig into this brand. Spicy, woody. Oh, there's only two. There's only two fragrances from the house. One is called Wode Paint, and the other one's called Wode. Interesting. Okay, a house with only 2 scents, both from 2008. So I wonder, was this like a precursor to Boudicca, or what's up with this house only having 2 scents? Very strange. Okay, we did Geffy, we did Anuj. If is the best Kipling song. Yes, and there's a beautiful poem that goes in If from Rudolph Kipling. Or Rudyard Kipling, excuse me. Good evening, Kevin. Congratulations on being featured on the news, mate. Thank you for sharing that with us the other day. That's awesome. Book of Wisdom by Adi Alavan. You know what's crazy is that Adi Alavan, I've been hearing more and more about that. And one of my perfume god people who I think wants to remain anonymous reached out and said she was going to send me some of their scents to sniff. I've never smelled them before, but the bottles and the note listing and everything seems crazy. So I wonder what that brand's all about. Watching Knights versus Stars? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I have it recorded. I'm watching it after this. Don't tell me. Probably the Stars will lose. All right, made it to a live. Hey, Ramsey, scent of the day, Essential Parfums, Bois Imperial, going to the gym. Nice, Lewis. I am not familiar with those Essential Parfums, so Crazy Kritzia is amazing. As far as value for money goes, I don't know if you can. I think I spent something like $40 on this. Actually, I think I spent 80 because I got two. I got the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum. This is the Eau de Toilette with the spray, and I got a splash Eau de Parfum, $80 for 200 mils of what I would consider like a blend of Obsession for women and Musc de Cartier, the Parfum, the good one. Musc de Cartier Parfum is out of this world. It's got that amazing, speaking of amazing galbanums, this and Val de Nuit are two of my absolute favorite executions of galbanum. And this, you know, this kind of takes that and I think runs with it. And I believe this is a Dominique Ropion. So this is what I keep talking about, vintage fragrances having such a pull, you know, having such value. Value for money is really where vintage fragrances hit for me, because you're going to pay, what, $1,000 for the night? And Dominique Ropion's the perfumer and all the tricks he used. And these are the type of fragrances he learned those tricks. I mean, this is not the night or anything, but these vintage fragrances he made in the past, this and Esatis, for example, crazy you can get perfume like this for so little money. And then people are willing to pay, you know, $300, $400, $500 a bottle for a Louis Vuitton or, you know, something like that. So it's just, it's crazy. What is up, 992? It's been a while. Monsieur Ramsey. Yes, that's right. That'll be my first fragrance name, Monsieur Ramsey. That's a good name. Danger Parfum Cologne. Very nice. Very nice. Morning. Good morning. Anuj, you are the boss. Anuj is the boss. He is the man with the master plan. Knees keep us alive. Please. Hello. Until tomorrow. Tiger Lust Cambogia is the new EO, better than OG in my opinion. Better than the OG Tiger Lust. Oud used here is so damn awesome. Dude, I need to travel to your house and just do a live stream sniffing some of these crazy insars you have. Cream Dog. Beep beep. EO Private Blend is easily the best real musk fragrance ever for me. Masterpiece among masterpieces. Dude. I don't even want to know what EO Private Blend goes for, but it sounds amazing. Black Afghano, well done, Mike. That's on the never-ending 2 review list. Moth Experience so complex. Some days peppery, others iris. Yeah, that's a good point. It really is. It's like 3 fragrances in one. It is very complex and very well done. Been watching your videos for a while. First time catching a live. Rosia Elysium. Welcome, Jaron. Thank you. Thanks for joining, mate. Jubilation 25 is perfect for the opera. It is. Unfortunately, I've never been to an opera, but I lab sample bottle. Ah, yes, that's right. It's what I figured. Opera's on the list. Big crowd. Not really. We had like 150, 120, 150 folks watching Sultan Pasha's live stream last time. I just haven't been doing lives for a while is why. I bet you if I got back in the groove, we could get the numbers up. But I don't care. I'm happy. I'm happy with our small but what would you say? Small but passionate group of folks. Passionate. On Bulgari Man Black Orient. Never smelled it, mate. Sorry. Ramsey Live Blind Sniffs is top. Thank you, Sir Siage. Sir Siage Sniffington is a hell of a name, by the way. Pardon is my fave. Black Afghano number 2. I'm flipped because Lidge is, I like Lidge more than Pardon, and Pardon is such a take on Lidge, but I hear you. It is very good. Yeah, I'm kind of used to the smell now. I'm not good with all Tom Ford. Some are hit, others are not. Yeah, for sure. Top tier content. Thanks for watching. Hello all. Scent of the day, Bogart Virus. Never smelled that one, Andy. Never smelled it. But can you go through all of the unbelievable bottles that you have in your collection that you've never even opened or sniffed yet, so we can scream at you to open them and sniff them for the very first time. Speaking of blind sniff, we should do a blind sniff where you come on stream, Andy, and sniff some of those amazing bottles you're saving, never opened, in front of us all. I got some similarities between Val de Nuit and Etienne Eigner super fragrance. I could see that. No, I mean, super fragrance is much more funky, though. It uses a lot more of that. Super fragrance uses a ton of animalics. I think there's a lot of castoreum and costus and, those type of notes that almost give off this wet hair dog, but they both have galbanum. And I really do think that super fragrance, the reason I gave it a Vintage Hall of Fame review is that I really think that super fragrance kind of set the scene for what came in the early to mid 80s. So yes. Okay, let's do number 2. Numero dos. So we're going to do number 2. Let me make my note. Number 2, right wrist. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Aha, a beauty. Look at that. Golden juice, baby. Okay. Ooh, that is fresh. That actually gives off a super fragrance feel, but almost with a little bit of like maybe dihydromercenol freshness, like maybe just a little bit of that freshness that Drakkar Noir popularized. But I think there was even some dihydromercenol in Paco Rabanne. I really like this. I think, oh man, it's a tough call. These are both really good starts. Armando not fucking around right out of the gate on these two. He's probably back there laughing because he knows exactly what this is. This is good. This is really good. I mean, I'm thinking about things like, God, I mean, the Perrac Pour Homme I pulled out earlier. It's something in this range, but imagine you took something like Perrac Pour Homme, which I know maybe 1 in 10,000 people smelled. It's a hard one to find. I mean, you're going to have to go on your treasure hunt to find Perrac Pour Homme. But imagine you took Perrac Pour Homme and maybe gave it a little bit of a dihydromercenol top, maybe just a little bit of that Drakkar Noir. I don't know, maybe a little bit of the Paco Rabanne sort of freshness, if you will. This is really, really good. I really, really like number 2. Number 1 was good. It had that strange 90s freshness, which they call dewdrop. But this is like me through and through. This has my name written all over it. This has to be 80s. This has to be an 80s fragrance. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. If it's not an 80s fragrance, it's a 70s fragrance. It's one of those two. This is really good. Slightly green, a little bit of like freshness coming through. Like imagine like the sun kind of peeking through, you know, little spots in the trees, just little sun spots coming through, and otherwise shady like grove. But there's definitely that vintage underlying old school heavy. Maybe I would probably bet that there's a lot of like patchouli. Although I think the patchouli probably adds more like weight and heft, I would guess that there's probably just a ton of oak moss in here, a ton of that old school scratchy oak moss that just adds so much. You know, like today's fragrances seem so thin. It's like a piece of paper. You know what I mean? It's like the fragrances today seem like this, and because oak moss adds this unbelievable amount of depth to a fragrance to me. These old fragrances, when you smell these vintages, one of the reasons they smell so unbelievable is that they could use the proper amount of oak moss. And oak moss is such a big fixative to the skin, but also it adds this texture. So today's fragrances feel thin and flat, whereas in the past, they just felt so alive. And the other thing is they weren't afraid to be bold. You know, they weren't afraid to take a chance here and there. They weren't afraid to, because they didn't have, you know, these corporate huge houses breathing down their necks. They didn't have the L'Oreals, the LVMHs, the Puiges, the, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who owns like Cartier, and it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it. But these big conglomerate houses, they didn't have the middle managers and, you know, making monetary decisions. And if you ever watched Frederick Maul's, there's a live stream on Frederick Maul's YouTube channel, which I would urge every single one of you to watch. And he sits down with Pierre Bourdon, Jean-Claude Elena, the woman who made Synthetic Jungle, whose name just escapes me, unfortunately. Now I have to know. Let's see, Synthetic Jungle. Her name is Anne Filippo. So Anne Filippo and a couple other folks joined. Maurice Roussel, I believe, was on there. And Pierre Bourdon said literally the best line. He said, the only way fragrances will ever go back to how they were when I was doing my best work, which he's referring to himself in the 80s, is if we kick all of the moneyed interests out of perfume. That'll never happen. So now it's up to the small houses. It's up to the Papillons. And, you know, that's why I love Liz Moore's house so much. Because people like her, people like Russian Adam, people like Dmitry Bortnikov, these kind of folks who are just doing their own thing, going their own way. They're not doing market research and then putting stuff out. They're not doing these, you know, huge test subjects and trying to appeal to the most amount of people. They're making what they love. And that's what they used to do in times like this. This is really good. Now there's almost something maybe slightly soapy coming through with that leather underneath. This spicy, leathery, just hard, just very textured, masculine, not completely no holds barred because of the sort of dihydro, maybe a little bit of the dihydromercenol freshness and greenness, and now a little bit of that soapiness. Imagine a much rough and tumble version of Santos de Cartier, like something like that. Imagine Santos, but much more rough and tumble. I like this. I got to know what this is. What are you, number 2? Numero dos. Okay, here we go. Unopened. Here we go. Ready? Signet by Avon, 1987. Holy shit. I know Avon has some great stuff, and I'm not bashing Avon at all. In fact, I would urge every single one of you to smell some of these Avons, but this is really, really good. Really, really good stuff. Signet by Avon. I got to look it up. Signet Avon. Signet Cologne. No notes listed, of course, but there is a There's some main accords. So animalic, woody, fougere. You definitely get that fougere green. I mentioned Paco Rabanne. There's definitely some of that green fougere, earthy fougere. You know, you could also compare it to maybe something like this. Jean Couturier's, or I guess it's pronounced Couturier. Jean Couturier's number 12. Which, again, thank you, Anuj, for this beautiful gift from, I believe it was a Christmas present last year. But man, imagine something like this. This is probably the best comparison. Signet's really good. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. 2 bangers right out of the gate. And it was an 80s. It was an 87. We're off to a good start, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon is top 10 of all time. Wow. Have you tried Safari Extreme? I think you might like that, Mike. Safari Extreme. This one, the Abdul Samad Al Qureshi. I do think this is a good fragrance. I do think it's a good fragrance. I don't think it's lived up to the hype from what I saw some people talking about it, but I do think it's a good fragrance. And I'd like to explore more from these type of houses like Abdul Samad Al Qureshi. But yeah, Safari Extreme is good. It is good. Wode is a strange one, hard to pin down. It is very strange. It's not, it wasn't. It was that's how far behind I am on the comments. Hey, Hez, welcome. Hey, Hez? Isn't Boudicca some kind of luxury clone? Well, it wasn't. That's the thing. Boudicca. You mean the actual one, the one that we did, Boudicca. It may be. I probably am wrong. I think Boudicca is probably pronounced Boudicca. I think it's Boudicca the overpriced, personally, but finally caught alive right now. I'm enjoying the scent from the cap of a vintage bottle of Caron Pour un Homme de Caron Sport. Holla, I've never smelled the sport version, but Caron Pour un Homme is one of the best vanilla lavenders of all time. Want to prepare another blind sniff set for Ramsey? It is amazing. Oh, Boudicca Wode. Got it. Yes. Remember, Galen made a review. Oh, I've never seen it. No, I never seen it. In the house. What's up, John? Chanel 19 EDT yesterday. It is a galbanum type day. Actually, just April, May, June for me. Number 19 or Val de Nuit, or something with the galbanum like Musc de Cartier are amazing, amazing fragrances. Even I think there's a little bit of galbanum in Crazy Krizia. These are great for this time of year. I love galbanum. I love the sort of resinous side. I like it when galbanum is really thick and resinous. Is it vintage? Well, private blend bottle you won't see in 3 figures. Exactly. Yes, sir, Dushan. Corey, hello, professor. Sorry I'm late for class. Never got notifications. I'm telling you, YouTube is fucking with me. They really are. There's something going on with what their push notifications on my channel. Maybe it's everyone's channel, but I've had a lot of folks tell me stuff about the notifications. So that's why the last couple of videos I said, make sure you have all notifications clicked. I hate it when YouTubers say that. Like for me, I'm like, screw you. I know how to subscribe and thumbs up, and I don't need you to tell me that. But there has been something going on where the personalized recommendations, which is actually the default method if you say you want to be alerted to a channel, is not alerting people. Even Rich Mitch told me that happened. So yes, Supremacy and Oud, never smelled it, Corey. Terre de Hermes EDT, the ultimate spring. Yes, that is true. I've got a 500 ml bottle of that from 2012 or 13, I think. It's amazing. Probably one of my favorite bottles because it's a 500 ml with a sprayer. So you almost have to hold it like, I've shown it off on the channel before. Man in Black Orient and Essence. Never smelled either, but thanks. I'll have to check them out one day. Would you say putting Oak Moss, Attar, and then spraying a classic fougere that is not vintage batch would be just, I don't know. That's a good question. I probably think there's more to it, but I think if if you just have a, like, if you have a modern of Drakkar Noir and you want a little bit of the old school experience, that's a good idea. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Amber Cologne from Boudicca for summer, love it. I did a review of it, Giuseppe, so you can check out my full review. Watching from South Korea, Roja Musk Oud. I think I reviewed that as well. I can't remember. I think I did. I think there's a review of that on the channel. I liked it, but it was very, very soft. I didn't think it was worth the dough. I'm opening one of my precious every few months, and just this week opened vintage Nehema. You bastard. I would love a vintage Nehema Extrait. That is right towards the top of my Guerlain list. Green Irish Tweed. Yes, exactly. It really does. Number 2 is the Just Saying. Oh, man. Actually, I would take Tonka Cola over the Shitanium. Yes. And Filippo. Thank you. Is that Phileas? Safari Extreme is good, not great. I agree with that, Ajay. Is Current Aromatics Elixir worth it? I have a Current Aromatics Elixir, and it's good. But I've never done, I don't have a vintage to compare to and tell you, yes, it's as good as the vintage, but I do like it for what it's worth. No, I haven't. I would check that out. Thank you. Dominique Ropion was also there with Frederick Mall, but Dominique stayed quiet the whole time. Oh, yeah, you're right. He was there, wasn't he? He was very, yeah, I think he's just, you know, he's into like music and art and stuff like that, reading and turn on, tune in, drop out. Welcome. Thanks for being here with us. Antaeus today. You cannot go wrong, my friend. The best smelling man around. Hello, my countrymen. Hello, Duel. Ram, have you tried Chanel 28 La Pausa? No, I don't believe that I have. I do not believe that I have. 31 Rue Cambone is the one that I've been going crazy for lately. I think that's one of the best modern Chypres, but long-time listener, first time, you're so full of shit. Oh, man. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for being here. Send it to Eugene. We are caught up on the comments. I cannot believe I caught up on the comments. That's unbelievable. Germain Monte Royale Secret is one of my favorite galvanums, and it's really rich and resinous, especially I never smelled that one. Never even heard of that one, Andy. But yes, let's do number 3. Let's do number 3. Okay, so we're going to have to be very careful about where we put fragrance because I only have so much space. So we are going to go, I guess, in the middle of my arm. So we did the wrist. We will do, man, I really like, number 1 is crazy. It is, it's really unique. Okay, so we're going to go number 3. We're going to do middle left arm. Okay, let's see how this works out. Okay, right in the middle. Ooh, that's spicy. Spicy from the opening. I like that. That also smells like almost like a spicier take on a leathery fougere. But imagine you took some of the animalic notes from, you know, something like Joint, maybe Joint's much more animalic than number 3, but imagine like a little bit of a toned down Joint. Well, that's not even fair to say from the first sniff. But imagine you took a little bit of that green meets sort of, you know, civet meets. There's a lot of stuff going on in Joint. And so imagine you kind of took that crazy combination of whatever it is, smoky aldehydes, green mugwort. There's definitely Artemisia in here. Definitely some mugwort / Artemisia. There's probably some old school carnation. And just a lot of spices. I don't know what those spices are, though. Caraway, coriander, nutmeg. I don't get very much cumin. I also think this is an 80s fragrance, though. I think number 3 is also an 80s fragrance. I think that Man, this is really good. Dude, you are bringing the fire today. A couple of these, though, I think number 1 and number 3 are my favorites so far. Number 2 is very good, very 80s, but the dry down's very wearable. I mean, I would almost argue that with stuff like this, you almost don't need the Avon, although it is very, very good. And if you can find a bottle at a decent price, I'd say go for it. But number 3, man, really like that. Really, really, really like that. Waiting for those Cartier Ouds. I know there's only so much time in one RAM, but I promise it will happen. I promise. Maybe even a live stream where we do all of them at once to knock them out. I need to utilize my live stream ability more. My live streaming superpowers. Very similar to Prada Infusion Dome to my nose. Black Monday. What did he say? Black Monday. Black Monday. Trying to find it. Sorry. Can't find what he said to that response. Okay. Folks, Micah, welcome, my friend. I love your little avatar, man. Luca Turin just did a review on his Substack. Man, Rachel bought me a month to his Substack, and I just can't with that guy. I'm sorry. I just, he says, I love perfume. I hate perfume. I'm gone, and then he found a way to monetize it, and he's back. And I mean, some of the things he says, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm not a big Luca Turin fan personally. But I am a fan of this number 3. I got to know what this is. Number 3. Number uno, dos, tres. Okay, let's see what we got. Number 3. Let's rip this bad boy open. Let's rip her apart. Program Homme by Lancome, 1988, discontinued. It was in the 80s. Let's see if it has Artemisia, mugwort, spices, carnation in that animalic bit in the base. I really like this. I don't know where you find these, Armando. Program Homme, Lancome, 1988. Parfumo doesn't list very much. It just says citrus notes, green notes. The green notes are probably Artemisia, mugwort. That's what it smells like to me. Leather, spices, and woods. So not very much. Not very much on the information. I wonder if Base Notes has better notes. Let's see. Just out of curiosity, although Base Notes takes like 10 minutes to load, I feel like they have one server. So I just clicked directory and perfumes, and it's just like load, 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 load. They really need more servers. Honestly, they need like an infusion of cache. Base Notes needs like, I don't know, like angel investor to come and just say, okay, you've taken this as far as you can take it. You were like a one-man shop. You built this amazing thing. Now this needs to be kind of passed over to someone who can take it to the next level, because, man, it is so slow. Program Homme. Did you guys hear KFC is releasing a group of fragrance? Okay, so Base Notes says lemon, basil. I could see basil and lime with pelargonium, oak moss, lavender, labdanum, and incense. I feel like there's some animalic notes not being listed here, though, but it's very good. I really, really like it. This is really good stuff. Lancome Program Homme. Wow. Wow. Well done, Armando. Well done. I don't know where you find these damn things, but well done, mate. I feel like I need to take some notes here. Number 1 on so I can remember. Okay. All right. Let's catch up on some comments and then we'll do number 4. All right. So Galbanum and Papillon's Dryad. Oh, it's fantastic. That's a good shout. That's a really good shout, Dushan. Yeah, there is a lot of Galbanum in Papillon's Dryad. Dryad is, to me, like a niche version of what I'm wearing today as my scent of the day, the Val de Nuit. But the Extrait version, the EDT version is so much more airy, and I much prefer the Extrait version. Much prefer it. Have you got... Is my camera like cutting in and out? Why is it doing that? That is a bit similar to Pardon. Quite expensive nowadays. The original OG La Instant. I do. I have this one, and I also have the one with the black border around. They both smell the same to me. I don't get any difference. If you're a Guerlain lover, don't pay big money for vintage Guerlains. Not these anyways, or not like, you know, when Guerlain like changes a bottle, like they change, like for example, this was the original L'Eau Medial Extreme bottle. They've now changed this to be like silver. They've changed the cap to be black, and people are selling this from just 3 or 4 years ago as vintage, triple the price. Don't ever pay that. It's not worth it. Guerlain loves changing little details here and there. The fragrance always smells the same to me. I don't get huge differences when Guerlain does stuff like this. Now, when you go to true vintage and you get like a 60s bottle of Val de Nuit, that's going to be completely different. That's where it's worth paying the vintage money to me. But when Guerlain like changes these small little details on packaging or re-releases Songe du Bois de Et under Bois Mysterio, don't pay big money for the vintage. It's almost never worth it. That's a little insider's tip, in my opinion. Yes, I'd love to smell black suede one day. I think that's the devil man's favorite Avon. Say what you want about Biden, but at least he slows down in school zones. I guess I don't understand that, but it's funny because Biden is slow. My God. What's up, brother? What's up, close proximity? Good to see you, mate. Vintage Caron pour Homme, solid, Micah. Solid stuff. Jesus, Ram making sweet love to that forearm. It is really good. If you were here, Kevin, you could help me smell it. It's fantastic. A wise man once said, never fuck with a man wearing a pinky ring. That's true. I mean, the backhand may happen, Kevin. You never know. Did you give Quirtus a good wear? I've worn it multiple times, mate. Yeah, I gave it multiple full wears so far. It's fantastic. It keeps like cutting out. I keep getting like a circle on the screen and then I'm back. Is it cutting out for you guys too? If it is, I don't really understand why. Let me close some of these other windows. Did he learn to walk? Doubtful. He's in bed shitting his pants in. Yes, but the media wants to know what flavor ice cream. Quirtus is the best of the Arige Must series. Quirtus and Royal Barn are definitely my 2 favorites. Definitely. But testing some more of the samples, I really, really like Forbidden Flower and Creme de la Creme. Those are the 2 I would get if money was no issue. Aqua de Selva had to turn down all the hot cougars. That's awesome, Empty Sense. Aqua de Selva is so bracing. Have you ever heard of Skin Bracer? Every time I wear Aqua de Selva, it has this bracing, cooling quality. It's not my favorite, I'll tell you that. I'm still hunting joint, loads of aftershaves, but the EDT is a true unicorn. Get with the Nuge. I bet you a Nuge could find some joint for you. That sounds way worse than what I meant it to be, but I bet you he could. Cuir de Russie from Arige was miles better. I agree with that statement as well, Ajay. I wish Quirtus is like the best thing that we have that we can safely put on our skin. But man, Arige Ladore's Cuir de Russie was out of this world. I'm gonna give it time before I do a full judging on it because I think some of them may develop as well, but that's the thing about vintage musks and stuff like that. They don't always smell like you would expect, but I liked it. I liked that series. I liked it. I didn't hate it like some people did. Has anyone tried Histoire de Parfum, Encens Roi, or Eldo Attack the Sun? Never smelled Attack the Sun, but I might have a decan of Incense Roi floating around somewhere here in my 1,000 decants. I'm super new to the frag world. 2 years, I'm 23, but I'm liking literally everything, and I'm smelling. Keep smelling. That's the biggest thing. Keep smelling everything you can. Any initial impressions yet of Initio Narcotic Delight? Never smelled it, but I'm sure it's shite. You just missed it. The Ram just made sweet love to his forearm. Well, I mean, that's where the scent is. Can't really smell it without getting up on it. Run away from this community and never look back. That's not true. Just stay away from the, what do you call it? Stay away from the toxic. There's so many fragrance channels that have nothing to do with fragrance. Absolutely nothing. It's just Jerry Springer with some guy who bought a bottle of Bleu de Chanel. You know, that's really what the fragrance community has turned. It's turned into a joke, is really what it's turned into. I think it just depends on who you follow and spend your time with. That's my 2 cents. Imagine landing on this channel by accident and seeing some dude deep smelling his forearm. Do people even land on a channel by accident? They have to know what they're getting into. It does say fragrance, perfume, cologne. But yes, on skin is where you really should try a fragrance. I mean, I could spray them on strips if you guys want. I put them on skin for you guys. Forearms are a thing to some. Take me with you. I've been caught in public doing it. It's a kink. I don't think I can now. In these 2 years, I now have 50 plus bottles. I'm saving like crazy. No money. I'm saving like crazy. No money left. You're spending like crazy, you mean? 1 server to Alaska. Yes, that's right. Just donate it to the Ram and buy a bottle of CK Eternity. All you need, leave and never look back. You're in a mood today, aren't you, Kevin? You are in a mood, my friend. 2 years, maybe a little too late. Yeah, you're too deep. I only tune in to watch them do that deep smell. Well, at least you turn in, Kevin. At least you turn in. Just don't turn into Boz. Gucci Nobile is my favorite from the 80s. It is very damn good. Probably one of the best, just up and down, technically sound, proper aromatic fougères. And you know what's crazy? There's no tobacco note in the base, but there's or listed, but I get a lovely tobacco note that as it dries down, very masculine. I love Gucci Nobile. That is definitely going to get a Vintage Hall of Fame review. Me hitting you and you hitting the floor, the Breakfast Club. I'm glad you like my hair. You like my forearms. You like my hair. All right, Kevin. No more interacting with you, my friend. We need to focus on the perfume. The reason why most people are here. Number 4. Number 4 is going to go on the right arm. The right forearm. I know that excites you, Kevin, but right forearm. All right, let's see the juice color. Ooh, clear. All right, let's see what we got. All 3 have been hits, though, so far. Ooh, this is, man, that almost smells like tequila right out of the gate. That almost literally smells like tequila. Like a agave, sort of woody, like a woody agave tequila. That is really interesting. I can tell you right away, it's probably my least favorite of the bunch. Because it has this weird, I don't know, there's like a weird sweet woodiness underneath. Kevin's on a roll. Paid $80 for a vintage Peller bottle of Val de Nuit. They didn't know what they had. Womp womp. That's a steal. That is an absolute steal, Rachel. The ideal fragrance is a bit different in the new formulation. That's what I hear. Fun fact, Koros was originally named Subway pour Homme. I'm eating new Munch Mallow now, and I don't like it. I miss the vintage taste of it. I don't know what that is, Dushan. Made it. Which one is best so far? Oh, shit, man. That's a good question. Well, I think I'm most impressed by the artistic side of Wode. I don't think I've ever smelled a fragrance that has that weird, fresh, they call it a dew note. But when I was talking about it before I knew what it was, I was calling it a sort of like 90s style freshness. And with that leathery undertone, that kind of reminded me of a little bit of nostalgia. So I think Wode is the most impressive artistically. But Signet by Avon was amazing. And Program Homme, I was very impressed by. Signet and Program Homme both dry down to very wearable, though, even though they're maybe a little bit challenging to folks who aren't into vintage fragrances. I would have no problem wearing either of these as my scent of the day. This number 4, though, is my least favorite by far. Whatever number 4 is my least favorite because it has this weird, I called it like an agave smell, like a tequila agave smell with this underlying sweet, woody, musky. There's probably a lot of musk in here. And there's something sweet, like a modern amber. I would guess this has been made in the last 15 years. That this is a newer fragrance. 10 to 15 years. Number 4. Bravo indeed, Armando. Is Guerlain Heritage EDT in the current presentation the same as the Listerine bottle? I have no clue, Regis. Somebody else would have to answer that one, brother. Armando. Recently bought a full bottle of 4.2 ounce Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme vintage and half full 4 ounce bottle of Gucci Nobile for 110. Great deal. That's a great deal. Never loved Munch Malo Duel. I don't know what that is. Anuj, sir. It's weird. I try spraying Cuir de Russie on my clothes, but it always lands on my skin. So weird. As long as your skin doesn't fall off. I'll try it on skin. What do you think about Christine Nagel's appointment and her first masculine, the H24 line? My favorite of the line, I smelled them all recently because I went to a Hermes boutique in Austin when I was down there for work. And H24, the original H24 is my favorite. And the flankers, I don't know. The flankers were strange. I think one of them had like a mint note, but it had this weird sweaty sweetness or something underneath. I didn't care for the 2 flankers I smelled, but the original H24, I could totally see getting a bottle of that one day. Totally. That's it, Boz. I've had it with you, dude. I've absolutely had it with you. As soon as I figure out how to block you, you're blocked. I just don't know how to do it because I'm technologically not there. But once I figure it out, you're blocked. How do I block this guy? Let's see. There we go. Goodbye, Boz. Don't come back. Hey guys, sorry. Hey Antonio, what's going on? Do it, Dushan. Antonio, scent of the day, Synthetic Jungle. We talked a little bit about Synthetic Jungle earlier. Ajay, I have the Cuir de Russie and I used a barrier cream first, and that's designed to block chemicals being absorbed into the skin. You got all kinds of tricks, Andy. Shit, a barrier cream. Never even heard of that. Bel Ami, we talked a little bit about that earlier. Heretic. Very good scent of the day. One of my absolute favorites. Bel Ami is a lifer scent for me. Bel Ami, fantastic stuff. Le Leon, Gucci Guilty Absolute. Can't have a bad day with that combo. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Number 4, Chalito Lindo, Rasasi Fort. My guess. All right, let's see what it is. Number 654. Okay, here we go. Oud 27 by Labo. You gotta be shitting me. This is Oud 27. This smells like absolute ass. I can't believe this is Oud 27. Now that I know what it is, I can see at the very back of the sniff a little bit of that Oud feel. This is a terrible Oud fragrance. This is absolutely awful. I am very disappointed in that. Very, very disappointed in that. I mean, I know I've been smelling a lot of real ouds lately, and I've been on an oud kick, and I've kind of turned into an oud head over these last couple of years, but I mean, I can, if you really like made me twist my, like if you gave me some like psychedelic drug and made me twist my mind in some weird inside out fashion, I could kind of see where they're going with this, but no, this is just no, no. Good to know, Andy. I may try that, but I love it on bare skin. On the dry down of synthetic jungle, I get a private collection. Yes, private collection is one of the all-time great, one of the all-time great green fragrances, private collection. And somebody very kindly gifted me. I don't remember if they wanted their name to be given or not, but they did gift me a Estee Lauder collection. They call this the Legacy Collection. And this is the one that Frederick Malle worked to remake these Estee Lauders. So they have private collection in here. So I could do like a live stream where we compare the vintage to the, or I could just do individual videos. But again, all this stuff takes time. So if I'm doing this, I'm not doing the Ouds by Cartier or the individual bottle review. So there's only one of me to go around. That's why I said I need that hot assistant. But there is Azure in here. There is SD by Estee Lauder. There is Knowing, which I also have a vintage bottle. So between, I could do like Knowing, Azure, which I have the vintage bottle of, and Private Collection, the ones that I can compare the vintage to the modern. And then we could maybe save the other two for a different time, which I've never smelled white linen before. So that would be just brand new for me. And the other one that I don't have a vintage of or I've never smelled before is Esty. So those two I've never smelled. So this will be a fun little live stream one day as well. So yes, but these two of the all-time great, one of the greatest leather sheepers of all time in vintage Azure, and one of the greatest green fragrances. Actually, Frederick Malle mentioned using Private Collection as like him and Filippo used this as a little bit of a benchmark when they created Synthetic Jungle, which they changed the name of Synthetic Jungle. I forgot what they changed it to. They changed it to something. What did they change it to? Synthetic Jungle. They changed it to Synthetic Nature. Something about a copyright claim, apparently. Rich Stream. Dortmund wins. Ram streams. If Eugene streams later, it's a holiday for the soul. Big bro. For your top 100 list, where does the Harmonist Hypnotize? I've never even smelled that one, mate. I'm sorry. I actually have never talked about the Harmonist on the channel before. I have some samples, but I've never done videos yet. You know, CK Reveal is a fantastic guess. I really don't like Oud 27. I think more of that Oud note is coming out now than what it was in the opening, but I really, really don't like that. The fact that people pay $500 a bottle for that is outrageous, but I'm not worried, as my vintage fragrance will always be way worse than a bit of birch tar and no worse than barbecue food, pickles, potato chips. Spot on, Andy. Well said, mate. Operator Dirge. Hey, Rams, end of the day is Listerine bottle of Guerlain Vetiver I scored recently. I couldn't be happier. The vintage quest continues. Yes, sir. One of the greatest fragrances of all time. I have the current Heritage, but never smelled the older. Yeah, I've never smelled the current. H24 EDP. The EDP I didn't like, but again, I smelled them in the store. The EDP felt like, you know, I remember the original being almost like this steamy style. I think they called it like a high-tech fougere or something, but I liked how there were like the bitter notes and the, you know, green dill. I have to smell, you know, I only smelled it in passing, but I remember the Eau de Toilette being the one that caught my attention the most. The EDP being almost like a, I don't know what you would call it, almost like they tried to make it more mass appealing. They tried to listen to what people were saying and make it more mass appealing. But I think the EDT is the one I would go for. And I really didn't like the newer one, or whatever, the flanker, whatever the newer flanker was. I didn't care for it. So Is your bottle of Heritage the L'Homme Ideal style? I want to get Monsieur Frederic Malle next, but what fragrance smells close to Monsieur? Yeah, I mean, Frederic Malle Monsieur is a huge patchouli. It's like 50% patchouli or something I read. So, yeah, I mean, you have to like big, bold style patchoulis, but from memory, Monsieur had like a really prominent, tangy, tart, like tangerine note or something, if memory serves. And then I think it also had like a rum note. So the rum made it feel a little bit more modern than just a straight up patchouli fragrance like psychedelic. But yeah, I mean, I really liked Frederic Malle's Monsieur. My Listerine bottle of Heritage is the only one I own, so I have no frame of reference. Yeah, I don't know about the new stuff in the Ideal bottle. Try to find a vintage of Givenchy. Yes, agreed. Not so strong, but never smelled older versions. I've listened to Ram talk about that a lot. Well, good. I'm glad I'm positively influencing you, young Padawan. Yeah, Givenchy Gentleman from 74 is absolutely fantastic. My favorite patchouli. Keanu Reeves? Who's Keanu Reeves? Oh, looking. Good to see you, man. How's it going? How is it going? I am searching for patchouli patch from L'Artisan. Patchouli patch I've never smelled. What's up, Brandon? Yes, what's up, Brandon? A lifestyle not for sale. Brandon, good to see you. Brand on versus brand off. Bonjour. All kidding aside, Ramsey has a streamlined, great collection consisting of new, discontinued, vintage. Describes scents perfectly to a T. Great content. Thank you. Appreciate that, Empty Sense. Brand off. Sartorial's way better than H24. Yeah, I would say it's better. I mean, I would say Sartorial's better, but I think H24, the Eau de Toilette, could really grow on me if I had a bottle and if I made myself wear it more. So I'm seeing a little bit more of the Oud by Le Labo thing as now that I know what it is. At first, it just smelled like a sweet, musky agave type smell, and I didn't like it, but I still don't like it. But I can see at least a little bit more. What do they say the notes are? Oud, frankincense, guaiac wood, cedar, saffron, patchouli, and black pepper. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let me make a note. All right, let's put 5 on my skin while I catch up on the comments. Agree with you, Ram. I have the EDT and the EDP, the fruits and the sweet you lose. I think maybe that's what it was. Again, I only smelled it in passing, but it felt like it was definitely sweeter. Like it was geared more towards the like the masses. You know, I think H24, they probably took it to some focus group who said, oh, it's not sweet enough, it's too bitter. But I like the bitter aspects of the green notes in H24. Eau de Toilette, the EDP feels much sweeter, and the flanker, was that the one with that weird mint note? I don't know about what they've done with the flanker or the Eau de Parfum, but the original was a good start. But I feel like H24 is going to turn into what Twilly turned into. Like when I was at the Hermes store, it felt like they had 10 flankers of Twilly. I mean, just flanker, 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 and you're just like, it's too much. It's too much. They need to pare it down. Scored it for 55 euros on Notino. Nothing to lose. Nice. Totally agree. Good evening. Late to the event. Psyched to find a Ram blind sniff. It's good stuff so far. Very good. Even the one that I don't care for so much is still, I'm glad I got to smell it. I'm glad I got to smell it. It's like if you did LSD and then tried to create an oud fragrance. That's Oud 27 by Le Labo. It doesn't do oud any justice. What do you think about Hiram Green? Lucky for you, Ashley, I have a live stream on Hiram Green. Go check it out. I really like the house, actually. Someone sent me a sample set, and I talked about them all just like this in like a couple hours setting. Fantastic house. I would totally own things like Slow Dive and Hide, and I mean everything I smelled from the house was quality. Quality house. Animal is great patchouli. Yes, you're right. Animal. You're exactly correct. I have talked about it. Animal, I heard is discontinued, by the way. I forgot to tell you guys this. Maybe I did say it, but it's been a while. Animal. So according to Parfumo, anyways, this is discontinued. Parlux was the last one to market it, and they chopped it. No mas. So if you like Amen by Thierry Mugler, get your nose on Animal. What really will blow people's mind is this came before Amen. This is 2 years before Amen. This is 94. Thierry Mugler's Amen was 96, but Thierry Mugler's Angel Woman came out in 92. So I think this took a lot of cues from Angel Woman and created the idea, which would later on become Amen a couple years later. This didn't have the star power of Amen, but I heard this was a huge hit still in South America and Brazil and Colombia and stuff like that. Argentina, they like wearing this still down there. So, but I am very happy to have a bottle. And if you can find this for $15 and you like Amen, go for it. Go for it. I'll try it. I'll sample the new one hopefully soon. Nice. Nasomato Blame Edge. Never smelled it. Have you been interested in new Ensar fragrances? I have. I am always interested in new Ensars, but they're just prohibitively expensive for me, so I can't. New to the channel, are you a fan of Nautica Voyage? I mean, I probably wore Nautica Voyage when I was like 12 years old or something. So I can't tell you the last time I've smelled it though, mate. But no, that's not the kind of perfume that I'm a big fan of, I must admit. Just got my hands on decants of many older Russian Atom fragrances. Atlantic Ambergris, Siberian Musk, Walima will be blessed couple weeks. Congratulations. That is awesome. Very happy for you. Boss Sport. Boss Sport is amazing. Hello. Probably one of my favorite sport fragrances of all time. This will definitely get a review soon, probably this summer, God willing. But Boss Sport's awesome. Congrats. Ensar putting out a lot of stuff lately. You know, I think if I had all the money in the world, well, if I had all the money in the world, I'd just buy everything. But if I had a budget to where I could go spend $3,000 on an Ensar or something, I don't think I would buy his fragrances now, because the fragrances, now that I've got to smell some, and I have an Ensar playlist, so you can go check them out. But at this point, I think I'm probably most interested in his oud oils. So I would love to own things like Borneo 3000 and Oud Sultani and, you know, what's the hardcore Indian oud he did that I forget the name of? Oud Extravaganza, or so, I forget the name, but it's something like that. I would just love to own the oud oils at this point. I really think the depth of the oud oil, like he tries to recreate it in the fragrances that he does, but it always falls, not always, but many times it falls short of just the oud itself to me. The new batches of Guerlain's Ideal Eau de Parfum and Extreme have been reformulated, and there's lots of reports of them not lasting long. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I find the EDT more interesting as well, Micah. I'm ashamed to say I've never smelled an Ensar before. Can't even afford a sample. It is ridiculously expensive. So you're not alone. I mean, if it wasn't for people sending me samples and stuff, there's no way I would ever be able to either. That mint dentist note, there's a whole article about it somewhere. Yeah, I found it very strange, the flanker. I think I liked the flanker more than the eau de parfum, but the eau de toilette was still by far my favorite. I'm now finding Guerlain Gaultier's perfumes more and more to be olfactory chemical assaults. Oh yeah, Jean-Paul Gaultier's, yeah, like the Le Male stuff. Yeah, it's brutal. Me to Rachel. H24 EDP had a banana note in the opening. Oh, maybe that's the weird fruit note. I didn't know that. I'll probably never remember that either, but I appreciate you sharing that, Gonzalo. It was very strange. Does need to sniff and review Duro, though. I think I might have a sample. I can't remember. I have so many samples, it's impossible to keep up, but I have heard of Lost Tribes. I've never smelled them before, but I have heard of them. Yes, excited about that. Yeah, I have to look. I have so many samples, it's impossible. Many frag groups on Facebook split decants of any new release. Spending $1,500 on a bottle of new NSR is not sustainable. No, I don't really use Facebook. I don't either. I don't either. Exactly. I'm with you, Rachel. Nice. Lost Tribe. Interesting. Curious about the new Abbey Rouge Parfum. I'm curious about the Abbey Rouge Privé. I am from Argentina. Bogart, Ted Lapidus, and Animal are big here. Nice. Thanks for sharing. Vintage Sharer 2. It is amazing. I agree with you. I got this bottle, just to give you an example. And with prices like we're talking about, $1,500 a bottle, it's impossible, right? But I got this Sharer 2, which is a vintage bottle. It's Parfums International as a distributor for $15. Okay, $15 I paid for this, and it's a 50 ml. Like, this is the type of perfume, value for money. That's why vintage fragrances are so. And this is a very complex chypre, amazing, slight animalic notes, but beautiful. And with perfume prices doing what they're doing, I mean, going back, the only way to go forward is to go backwards, in my opinion. Curious to try EO Animal Farm. Felt like Insar taking a swipe at Russian Adam for Royal Barn. Did Animal Farm come after Royal Barn? Because that's very quick. It just came out. Escobar. Villa Adelina. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Privé was the last flanker. Parfum is brand new, just released. People in the fragrance community, what's up, Wesley? Good to have you, mate. Alessandro Galtieri, Nasomato, and Orto Parisi. What? What do you mean no? I'm confused. I've just got a bottle of Iron Duke by Beaufort. It's outstanding. Well done, mate. Real niche, but not too daring. I would love to hear your thoughts. I've talked about it on the channel, dude. I have talked about it on the channel, my friend. In fact, I've said that this is the reason I never got a bottle of Amouage's Royal Tobacco. Because for me, this is like an insane Royal Tobacco with that soap note. There's a soap note in here. There's a note of blood. There's a note of iron. It literally feels like you're in a tank. The guy next to you is freaking out, smoking a cigarette. There's tobacco. Pouring a thing of, like a little knock of whiskey or something, but he spills it all over the place because he's shaking because he's going to die, and you can smell like let's say every time the tank fires it and it lets off that kind of smoke cloud or whatever, you can smell the smoke in the air from the battle. You can smell a fire in the back, way off in the woods from where the shell exploded. This is an insane fragrance, but it does have hints of Royal Tobacco to me from Amouage. I would still like a bottle of Royal Tobacco, but this has been holding me over. So yes, it's fantastic. I agree. Do you ever go to any fragrance conventions? Never have I. If one day someone flies me out to Dubai or something during a fragrance convention, I would go. But no, I've never gone. Can you imagine me at the fragrance convention? Initio coming up to me with their newest fragrance. I'd just be like, fuck you, Initio. They usually have a bunch of oud houses there. Yes, I would be interested in the oud houses. I would be very interested in the oud houses. All right, let me spray number 5 on my skin. See the juice. Promising. And only a little bit too. Promising. Smells honey patchouli from the atomizer. All right, number 5 is going to be Inside Elbow. Let me make a note. Inside Elbow. Oh, I really like that. That's a honey tobacco. Or honey patchouli. You know what this smells like to me? Off a first blast, it smells like a modern take on Moss Brex or like Luciano Pavarotti or Givenchy Gentleman from 1974. But like a modern take on it. Like, is this going to be a fucking Boudicca the Victorious, Armando? I can just picture him at home just laughing his ass off. I reviewed a fragrance recently from Francesca Bianchi called Sticky, is it Sticky Lips or Sticky Fingers or something like that? That felt like a niche take on that style, you know, the patchouli, but it had her big orris butter thing that all of her fragrances go into. Estate sales are a good way to get into vintage. It's a gamble. Many frags end up turned because they weren't kept well. Yeah, it's a good point. But I mean, sometimes I heard people find bottles of Derby for $50 or crazy shit like that. Have you reviewed Fendi Homme Essence? I don't own that. I've never smelled it. No, I'm sorry. The Fendi that is coming up for review soon is this one. My favorite Fendi of all time, Fendi Uomo, which is like a take on Trussardi Uomo, which I reviewed Trussardi Uomo on the channel. My God, man. Fendi Uomo is so Italian and yet so leathery and aromatic and spicy. But this number 5, I'm going to guess number 5. I said when I did the Labo, I said it was made in the last 15 years, and it was a 2008 release, I believe. So I was damn close on my guess. I'm going to guess this is the last 10 years. I'm going to guess this is sometime in the last 10 years this has come out. Sorry, I find Nasomato and Orto Parisi to be chemical assaults. Did not refer to Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, there is something to be said about that. Orto Parisi and Nasomatos use a lot of amber woods and synthetics, but I think that his ability to use them is special because he uses them in a way, I think he uses them well. That's just my opinion. I really like Orto Parisi's. But then again, I like challenging oud fragrances and stuff like that. I think he recreates them well. Like this Labo is not a good recreation of oud. Black Afghano is definitely a better recreation of, let's say, that oud accord, or the Orto Parisis that I've smelled, like Sturkis or stuff like that. Great recreations, but they are like, if you're someone like my brother Rich Mitch, who I love, he's my BFF in frag world, right? If he smells an amberwood, he's gone. I mean, gone. He turns tail and leaves. If you're that kind of person, you won't like Orto Parisis or Nasomatos. I can stand the amberwoods if they're done in a certain way, and Gaultieri does them in a way that I think is good. 9.5 mil and a few $100, far too much. They need to do 2 mil so people can actually, yes, that's a great point, Andy. I don't think he wants to. I think he likes keeping it rather exclusive. I did a rank This Is Not a Top 10 tobacco video. Check that one out. You surely are a super fan of Initio, aren't you? They're my favorite. Ensar is very combative if asked why his prices are so high. He really blocks people on Facebook groups for it, I heard. He just has his thing. Like, you know, it's a luxury item. That's what he always goes into. It's a luxury item. If, you know, if it's not for you, then don't buy it. When was the last time you got a compliment on the perfume you were wearing? Today. Today, Brandon. I talked about that. You weren't here yet, I bet. But I got a compliment on Vintage Val de Nuit Extrait. I was wearing this today. We were doing a what would you call it? Like a volunteering time or whatever. And some of the folks at my company built these bikes and stuff for kids and bicycles. They like helped put them together. And so I was helping load them onto the truck. And the person I was giving the truck, the bicycles too, I was lifting them off the ground and giving them to the guy on the truck. He goes, "Man, you smell amazing. What is that cologne you're wearing?" And I told him it was Guerlain Val de Nuit. And he was like, "What? I'll never remember that, but you smell great, man." I was like, "Okay, thank you." So literally today, a true out in the wild from someone I have no clue compliment. I have the Lover's Tale and I really liked it. I know the Lover's Tale was not one of my favorites. I really did like Under My Skin, but I think Salome's better. So if you're picking one or the other, I would go with Liz Moore's Salome personally. And I did really like Sticky Fingers. I think Sticky Fingers took some of the rougher parts of Givenchy Gentleman and tried to kind of do a 70s style patchouli honey, which I admire her for. But I like this. I like this. Whatever number 5 is. It's like a honeyed. It's like a honeyed patchouli, maybe with a little bit of tobacco. Why are we yelling? Ramsey, you should sniff that sample of PDM Hamdani. Hamdani. Okay. Yeah. It's on the list. Triumph of Bacchus. I have a sample. Yes. Argo sent me the whole sample set, so I have them all. I reviewed a couple like Brevidio Delicacia and whatever the rose one is. There's a Argos playlist. You can go check them out. My reviews. Yes, just me. Rachel. Brandon, he got a compliment this morning. Fucking hated Triumph of Bacchus. Is it going to be shite? Ajay, they are losing the plot, though, with these new 3.5 and 5K releases. They're just sticking to their audience, which they're going for the uber wealthy. I mean, very few people. I saw something the other day that said something like 40% of Americans don't have $500 in their savings account for an emergency. So that's a lot of people that have basically no money, which is very sad that the society is becoming so stratosphere. You know what I mean? It's becoming very bifurcated. And so they're just going after the uber rich. Very few people can just drop 5K like they're going to Walmart to pick up some bread and milk. You know, very few people can do that. I found all the Argos trash. I didn't actually. I wanted to hate them because they're an influencer brand, but I didn't hate what I smelled. But I only did 2, so more to come. What a compliment. What's a compliment? Exactly. Walden and Wheat Extrait, their bottle designs are nice. They are. Just got in, still going strong, baby. We usually go for about a couple hours, but it's been a while since I've done live streams. So crazy thing is, some people still pay for it. Yes. Ensar knows his clientele and does not give any fucks. That's right. Vintage Pearl Noir by Avon really reminds me of a slightly herbal share or two. Interesting. Never smelled it. Thoughts on Creed Selection Vert? Selection Vert is very much like Jacques Fat Green Water. Imagine Creed kind of took this DNA and put it on their salty ambroxan ambergris thing that they do. And that's Selection Vert. Very herbal and fresh. And I've got a decant. I'll review it one day. Yeah, I know, but I think it's because his main customer base in the Middle East. Yeah, he's going for the oil money, man. Pocket change for those chaps. Oh, yeah. $5,000 to them that's just a night out. Not even a night out. I love all and every patchouli so far. Well, if you like patchouli, I think number 5 may be for you. Let's see what the hell this is. Number 5 is, let's open it. Noir de Noir by Tom Ford. Wow. Wow. I thought this was supposed to be a big rose. Okay, I can see the rose now. Now I can see the rose, now that I know what it is. Sometimes it's like your brain clicks. I was getting a lot of patchouli and honey at first. I like this, though. I like this a lot. And what's crazy is this is a 2010 Estee Lauder Gold Juice bottle, and I think I have a... I can't find it, though. Aha, here it is. So I think I have a new Noir de Noir. So I could actually do a comparison video for you guys with this. So thank you. 2010 bottle, Estee Lauder Gold Juice. Okay, so Noir de Noir. Is it a rose patchouli? Is that what it is? Interesting. I'm guessing it's a rose patchouli, eh? Noir de Noir. Saffron, black rose, black truffle, patchouli, oud, vanilla. Well, I got the patchouli. There's definitely a lot of patchouli in here, and moss and floral notes. This is good. I really like this. Apparently, there is a Boudicca the Victorious that this gets compared to, and it's Ardent, which I think I may have even reviewed on the channel. I think the Tom Ford's better than the Boudicca the Victorious. Okay, Let's catch up on these comments, and then we'll do the last one, number 6. A challenge for you. You have to get a compliment wearing a print. Oh, shit. That'll never happen. Truskin Water I liked more than I should have. I thought the same thing, but I don't know. I keep going back to it, and I'm like, it's kind of, I don't know. It's not her best, I don't think. Lune de Ombre by Thomas Cosmala. No clue what that is, Wesley. Never smelled it. Never even heard of that house, mate. I think they're 2 totally different types of perfume, but yes, I would take Chypre Palatine over Etruscan Water. Go, go, go. Just made myself a coffee. It's 4:15 a.m. Is my scent of the stream. Very nice, Dushan. Yeah, I really like that. Really, really like that. It's the first time I've ever smelled it, believe it or not. I have not even smelled that Noir de Noir decant, so I got to try that, Dushan. Whoever compliments someone on wearing Val de Nuit probably has taste. Well done. Yes, that's right. It's a Chypre. It is. It's on my wish list from the very start. I'm impressed. Very, very impressed. This is good stuff. Harry Fremont and Jacques Cavalier. Nice. I got a compliment yesterday wearing Antolia. There's a Pren. That's crazy. I can't believe you got a compliment on that. Happy Ramathon. Good to see you, Mr. Inglewood. Would Beau de Jour be a good first Tom Ford? Yes. But if you already have Zeno, I wouldn't, to be honest with you. I wouldn't. I would go for something like this. I'd go for Noir de Noir. Where do I get that MDCI with a bust cap? MDCI. But as cool as it is, though, I mean, we are talking about a cap, Dushan. So, I mean, Ajay, so shit. I mean, go with whichever one's going to save you dough. You're going for the juice inside anyways. I do love Chypre Palatine. It is, there's the notes on the back. Look at that. Probably won't be able to read it, but hyacinth, clementine, aldehyde, cistus, galbanum, thyme, lavender, rose, jasmine, iris, plum, gardenia, benzoin, styrax, leather, castoreum, tolu, balsam, vanilla, costus, oak moss, everlasting flower, absolute. My only bottle of MDCI. Thank you, Natalia, for making this a reality. Thank you, dear. Wherever you are, we are all missing you. And I hope you're doing well, wherever you are. It's been a long time since I've heard from you, so I hope you're safe. I just got a compliment on Mandodari. Never smelled it, I don't think. I gave that one to my grandma and always give her compliments when she puts it on. That's awesome. Just one, though. I love Beau de Jour, but haven't smelled a Tom Ford I don't like. You haven't smelled a Tom Ford you don't like? Did you like Lost Cherry and all that shit? And Bitter Peach and Mandodari is pretty good. Jippity good to know I smell like your grandma. Oh, man. We'll all get there one day if we're lucky, Rachel. Old Tom Fords were bangers. Shame they fell off the same cliff. Creed went head first off. Creed did really dive. But you know what? To what's his name? Olivier Creed's credit, he did sell his business for $1 billion. I mean, really think about that. Olivier Creed sold a business for $1 billion, right? The guy who had stories about creating fragrances for the Queen of Spain from 1901. And they claim their first Creed fragrance was made for, what was the original copy on Royal English leather? It was ordered by King George III in 1781. Creed was the king's glove maker, and he scented the king's glove with Royal English leather. The king loved the scented glove so much, he would ask Creed to make him a personal perfume. That man who created that story, okay, sold a business for $1 billion. Think about that. Really think about it. Okay. So I'm not saying that there weren't scented gloves. There were, but there was nothing. Their perfumery wasn't even at the point of being able to make something like modern Royal English leather that you smell. A lot of them back then just wore like civet paste or lavender or whatever the hell, you know, their personal brewer put together. They didn't have the You know, it was, what was it back then? Maybe 47.11 if they were lucky, or I mean, I don't know, man. The whole thing with Creed, some of those backstories just absolutely blow your mind. And just think about that. That man sold a business for $1 billion. A billion. And then the company that bought it for him from $1 billion turned around 4 years later and sold it for $2 billion or 3 or whatever the hell it was. Fuck, man. Fuck, where did I go wrong? I need a sugar mama. 10 mil mini of Sheep Palatine is more fruity than I expected. I love the fruitiness of it. I love the fruitiness contrasted with the florals and that oriental vibe and the animalic bit. The castoreum, or I think it's castoreum, is amazing in here. Yeah, castoreum. Haven't smelled those fruity ones. Bitter peach is fire. I haven't smelled it. I was just curious if he liked them. Don't worry, my grandma wears Papillon and vintage gems too. Yes, that's right. Bought another 31 Rue Cambone EDT this morning. It just felt like the right thing to do. Congrats, man. I would love to find the EDT of. You know what I really want the EDT of is Sycamore. Because I never bought Sycamore because I've been waiting for the Eau de Toilette to pop up and it just never does. Never does. Bitter peach is like peach ring vomit to me. That was a secret, Dushan. The only Tom Ford I have is Black Orchid, and I love it. You know what Black Orchid's supposed to smell like, right? Jajit? You know what it's supposed to smell like? If you don't, look it up. Orange sliced candies are better than peach rings. I will die on this hill. Mando Dari was earlier known as Mora. Ah, Mora. I think I really liked Mora. I think Mora was the one that I reviewed and really, really liked it. You'd have to go back through my, go watch my Prin Parfum /Strangers /Parfum Persona playlist. Never understood Black Orchid well. Yeah. The truffle note. So Tom Ford got into this truffle thing, and I almost smell a little bit in this Noir de Noir, right? Yeah, there's a little bit of the same truffle that he kind of got head over heels on with Black Orchid, and then he used it again in Tom Ford for Men Extreme, which I actually like even more than the original Tom Ford for Men. It has a truffle note, has more patchouli and all this other stuff, but Tom Ford for Men Extreme is discontinued. It is amazing. Pierre Negrin made it right before he went to Amouage and started to make all these crazy Amouages. And it has a little bit of this sort of out there Amouage-like feel. I love it. I love Tom Ford for Men Extreme. Cuir Garamonte is my favorite MDCI. I never smelled it. Haven't smelled a lot of these MDCIs, to be fair. So I am at a little bit of a disadvantage. I've only smelled this and the really smooth lavender one. What the hell is it called? It's called Invasion Barbar. So Invasion Barbar and Sheep Palatine are the only two that I've really smelled. And I think I have a sample of Ombre Topeki somewhere floating around, but I've never smelled it yet. I got a compliment wearing Homme by Print. Holy moly. Wish I was the author of that story. My sister sprayed my dad with my GGA. He thought the women whose seat next to him at the bus was drunk. I don't understand anything. I just like it or don't. No understanding of the notes. That's okay. You will as time goes on. I got a compliment on the current formulation of Green Irish Tweed. Too bad it doesn't last long. Yeah, I'm sure the new stuff smells okay. It's just the longevity and depth is much toned down. Have you tried the Black Knight yet? No, but I have a sample somewhere. I need to. It's on the list. Back to your Avon blind sniff. Sometimes buy some of their fragrances just for the bottles, and they bring back being at my grandma's house. She sold Avon. That's awesome. Some of those old Avons are awesome. I got a 5 ounce bottle of a one that looks like a car. It's amazing. What's up, Ram? Prolix from Histoire de Parfum. Never smelled it, Galen, but good to see you, man. Glad you're not being a lurker today. It's Life Essence by Fendi. Never smelled it, no. Have a clone of Black Orchid, Oud 24. Is that the one we tried today? No, it's Oud 27, sorry. I I have 3 Francesca, Stinky Finger, the Lover's Tale, and the Black Knight. Love all 3. Dushan, Royal English Leather is great, but as most creeds, it's a take on floral powdery leathers like Caniche 10. I like Royal English Leather a lot, actually. Really, really like it. Great leather for like to wear in the summer. I like it in some heat. Invasion Barbar, yes, I only have 2 of the original Tom Ford still to find. That being Bois Rouge and Japan Noir. Those are going to be tough finds, mate. I got to see your collection, Andy. Andy's got some shit, man. He is sitting on some stuff. Is Japan Noir better than Plum Japonais? I would think so, but I honestly don't know. Japan Noir is one of the original. All right, let's get number 6 on my skin. My voice is starting to go. This has been fun, though. We definitely need to do more of this. Oh, look at that. That's a thick decant there, bub. Oh, I really like that already. That is a purple irisy leather like Cuir Canage. Yeah, that's like instant vibes of Cuir Canage. Instant. Purple leather, irisy, powdery leather. Cuir Canage has maybe a much more prominent orange blossom, though. The orange blossom makes Cuir Canage a little bit fresher. I'm not getting as much orange blossom here. I am getting a little bit more animalic notes. It almost feels like Cuir Canage with maybe a little more castoreum in the base or something. Sweaty leather, like cumin sweaty, sexy sweaty, you know. But the Francescas definitely smell alike. Yeah, she's using a similar Orris butter overdone base thing. Yeah, Galen's a G, man, and he's fantastic at editing. I need to employ him to start editing some of my videos. I want to see everyone's collections. Yeah, we should do like a jump on the stream one day and show off your collection video. That would be cool. That would be a cool stream to do. Just can't have Boz jumping on saying that Boz died today. My mom sold Avon in the 90s. It was my first exposure to perfume, even for my dad's splashes. That's awesome. Yeah, I got such a Facebook. The Black Knight is definitely most different from the rest. It smells, FB, sorry, Francesca Bianchi. It smells like a tire shop. Interesting. I really like whatever this number 6 is. Even Oud 27 by Labo is drawing down better than the opening. All of these were winners. Every single one. Every single one was a winner so far. He didn't include any bonus bullshit sniffs in here like the previous ones. These are all really good. And whatever number 6 is good. It smells like a take on Cuir Canage or Roja's Great Britain, but maybe like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the Boudicca, the Victorious that he throws in here. Skin on Skin, never smelled it. Leather Forever, never smelled it. The Black Knight smells super muddy to me, like vetiver, but muddy. Number 6 sounds great. It is fantastic. You've been on fire catching up with the comments today. Speedy Gonzalez would be proud. I am trying to stay up. I just saw a bald Anuj. I don't think I can unsee this. Me to Rachel. Yo, Ram, first time catching the stream. What are your thoughts on guilty pleasure fragrances? I have some, of course. I love guilty pleasure fragrances. Like I was talking about Abbey Rouge dress code being one because of the sweet praline elements in there. But yes, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having, I mean, you're not doing it for anyone else but yourself. So yeah, wear whatever you love. Man, I really like the sweaty dry down. I would not be surprised if this is a Francesca Bianchi, this number 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like that because it definitely has maybe modern niche elements to it. You know, very Cuir Canage-ish. Send me your frag instas and I'll follow. Would love to, but a lot of my collection is kept hidden. Ajay, you dirty dog, you. Sneaky. Do you think Fetiche is worth trying to get now? Yeah, I thought it was before it was discontinued. I said go for it if you're a fan of this. If you're a fan of this, Just imagine like a smokier Roja take on Bel Ami. Much more incense than Bel Ami. Is the Ram going to get the collection roasting train? That would be funny. That would be pretty funny. Michael, it is indeed. Ramsey, what is a fragrance that is unique like Russian Oud, but for summertime? That's a really tough question. Ocularia Blossom. Ocularia Blossom is a good, fresher take on Oud, but it's nothing like Russian Oud. Now there's an idea. I like wearing Guilty Pleasures for sure. I have Diaghilev current bottle and I can barely smell it. That's crazy. I can't believe that. Diaghilev is like one of the strongest fragrances I've ever smelled in my life, dude. Are you sure it's not operator error? Are you sure it's not your nose, Michael? Maybe it is reformulated, but shit, for me, man, I can literally just take the cap off and smell this, and the particles will be in my nose for hours. Like I feel like I'm smelling Diaghilev for the next hour or two. It's so good, though. My God, man. What a fragrance. What a fragrance. God, this is so familiar. Number 6 is so familiar. I think number 6, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to guess number 6 is a Pierre de Valet, one of Roja's, like, one of his spin-off brands, this Pierre de Valet brand. This one. Looks like this, Roja Haute Perfumerie, and it's the Pierre de Valet. I'm going to guess number 6 is one of those. Or a Francesca Bianchi or something like that. All right, let's see what the hell this is. Holy shit. Wow. This is really good, though. I want this. This is Cuir Mauresque by Serge Lutens. Fuck, I love it. I absolutely love this. I want a bottle. I mean, Cuir Mauresque has been my number one Serge Lutens for a decade. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how long. Maybe not a decade, but let's say 5 years. I mean, Cuir Mauresque has been my number one Serge because the notes and everything, but I've never smelled it before. So this is really good. Oh, it is fantastic. I really, really like that. Really like the leather. It's definitely becoming much more sweaty. That is really good. That opening, though, with the iris leather thing really shocked me. I didn't know Cuir Mauresque had those type of elements. I really like it, though. What a blind sniffing session this was. This was fantastic. Lost in Heaven. Is Lover's Tale worth 65 euros? Yes, I would say it is. Number 6, I mean. Roja still have stock of Fetiche on their site with a third off. Go for it. Where did you buy it from, Michael? Aldo's Rien Intense Incense smells like a tire shop. I get very Indian incense smell from it, but a bit greener. I really like intense incense. I'd love to smell your bottle of Diaghilev. You know what you need to do? You need to wear it. Wear the shit out of it. Like, wear it constantly. Wear it, wear it, wear it. And as air gets in that bottle, it maybe gets stronger. Ombre Supreme. Well done, Pat. Have you done a top 10 ambergris video? I don't know. I got to think about that. It's a great point, though. If I haven't, I will. I'll rank one. I'm working on the Orange Blossom video now because I did narrowly. So we're going to do Orange Blossom because those two kind of go together, being both from the same bitter orange tree. And but once the Orange Blossom video is done, I'll put that on the list. That's a great recommendation. Tobacco Oud, long time ago from eBay, which I can barely smell. Is it fake? Is Tobacco Oud strong as fuck? Weak Diaghilev, sad times. That I just can't believe that. It's crazy. That makes me very sad. Serge, Diaghilev is the best thing I ever smelled. This Cuir Mauresque I'm loving. Oh my God. I mean, it's got that sweaty, almost cumin-like leathery dry down. I didn't know Cuir Mauresque had such a big hit of that iris leather thing, though. That's very interesting to me. Discounted about 50%. Olfactory Factory. I've never used them. Used to have a bottle of Cuir Mauresque. Didn't like it much to keep it. Damn. Too bad. Sounds like it would be my favorite. It is my favorite Roja. I've smelled 10 plus Serges in the store. I was shocked by how much I loved every single one of them. One of the best niche. Uncle Serge is literally one of the best niche houses. I wouldn't be surprised either if Roja sold in the near future. I wouldn't be surprised if he already sold out and he's now just the face of the franchise and they don't want to tell anyone because they don't want it to change the sales. But man, it's gone. Roja as a house has already, I think they've already taken the turn. That's, you know, they're doing the Creed thing already, unfortunately. Oh yeah, Ambrosia is one of the best ambergris fragrances I've ever smelled. I have a not a top 10 ambergris video, but have I ranked it? Because if I haven't, maybe I will. I think he's done an ambergris. I've worn Diaghilev multiple times. I wore it to a friend's house who has super sensitive nose. He couldn't smell it. Damn, that makes me sad, Michael. Rosendu Matu number 5, one of my faves lately. The rubbery smell in the opening really clicked with me. Is it too sweet for you? Is that your guilty pleasure? Because I have a decant of it, and it is very sweet. Love, love, love Ambrosia, yes. Can't wait to smell Chrysos. The wifey just walked in, and I need to pack in these way overpriced groceries. Awesome stream. Thanks for being here, Corey. I got to go too. 2 hours is usually my max. But there's still almost 60 people watching, so I feel like we should kick the shit for a little bit longer. 2 hours, 15 minutes, we'll call it. We'll call it in 2 hours and 15 minutes, worst case. Fuck, this Cuir Mauresque is, my God, what a fragrance. This is my kind of leather for sure. I mean, I really like Cuir Canage, but Cuir Mauresque is like Cuir Canage done with more of the animalic sweaty undertone. You know, the animalic sweaty undertone reminds me just a touch of maybe something like the way the sweatiness in Bala Versailles comes through. Something along those lines. Well, I've already announced it, dude. So yes, it is Vintage Cuir Mauresque. When was the last time a perfume deal went wrong? That sounds like a drug deal gone wrong or something, Brandon. Do you have a bottle of Diaghilev without Roja's gold name on the side? That's a good question, Dushan. On the side of your Diaghilev, does it say Roja Parfums in gold? Because I heard the newer bottles were removing this. I wonder if that's a sign of the reformulation, if that's the case. I don't know. I have no clue. But I did hear they were taking this away. Yes, that's right. A perfume deal gone wrong is when a frag breaks in shipping. Oh, that's the worst. I had a bottle of Sir Winston being sent to me by Hari, and it broke. And I mean, I could smell the package was soaked. I could smell it, and I knew something broke. It was almost like my brain couldn't accept that Bortnikov, the vintage Sir Winston, broke in transit. I was just like, fuck. Still have not been able to find a bottle, especially not an original. And it was one of the old bottles. You could tell by the way it was like labeled on the back. Oh man, it hurts so bad to lose that one. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 2 hours. This was awesome. Well, my voice is like giving in, so we should probably call it. But he said it does have the Roja on the side. Interesting. I don't know, man. That's really weird. Really sorry to hear that, though. That sucks, dude. Sorry to hear it. I don't know about that place you used. Olfactive. What did you say? Olfactory Factory. I've never heard of them or used them before, so I don't know. But yeah, it shouldn't be like that for sure. I mean, Diaghilev is one of the strongest fragrances I own. I mean, it is so strong. So yeah, I don't know, man. That sucks, dude. That really sucks. Sorry to hear that. But we'll end on a positive note. Hell of a stream. Let me go through these again. So we had Wode by Boudicca, I'm guessing. I really like the dry down of that. it still gives off a little vibe of nostalgia, but just with that very weird sort of dew fresh 90s opening. But this is a winner. And then we had Signet by Avon. Man, that dries down so pleasant. Almost like pleasant in a way like you would expect from some of those Fabergé type fragrances. Like I reviewed one from the house. If you go back through my old videos, you'll see I reviewed a Fabergé fragrance that had this really pleasant vibe. I like the dry down of Signet. Very nice. Almost fresh and slightly soapy, but still has that spiciness. Oh, wow. Program Homme has probably changed the most of the bunch. Program Homme by Lancome. Unless I'm just smelling a mixture of everything else here on my arm. But I feel like Program Homme really went into like a completely different territory with that almost like incense, floral, lavender thing. Interesting. Really interesting. And then we had number 4 was the very strange Labo. That was the Labo Oud 27, which I said smells like an agave. And now I get more of a traditional, I would say, Oud accord into the dry down. But that opening was just so weird. My brain almost didn't even pick it up as Oud. That's how weird it was. And then number 5, we had Noir de Noir, vintage bottle from 2010 bottle, pre-Estee Lauder, gold juice. Wow, that is really good. That is a fantastic rose patchouli. In fact, I would say one of the best rose patchoulis I've ever smelled. I know I said Eugene's La Douleur Exquise and, of course, Frederic Mall's Portrait of a Lady, but this is up there. And I really like that honeyed patchouli-like feeling with the truffle from, you could say the Tom Ford for Men Extreme, or you could say Black Orchid, but definitely that Tom Ford truffle note, which he famously used. Yeah, I really like Noir de Noir. That is really good. I'm curious to see if the new stuff is just as good. And then finally, we had this amazing Cuir Mauresque. Oh, fuck. That is so unbelievable. My God, man, I love Cuir Mauresque. I mean, nothing changes. It's still right there at the top of my never to be filled Serge Lutens wish list, but that is very good. These are all good, except for Labo is probably my least favorite, just because, especially with what they're asking, $500 a bottle. I mean, I would rather spend a little bit more and get some NSARs, or save up for a bottle of, I don't know, like Oud Luwak by Russian Atom or something like that. It's outrageous to give Labo that kind of money. Even for a vintage bottle, I wouldn't do it. But yes, they're all good, all winners. Hell of a put together, Armando. You know me very well. You know what I have, what I don't have, and you know my likes. And saving Cuir Mauresque for last was a brilliant stroke. I was meaning vintages in Palais Royale. Yes, he said it was 2010 Bell Jar. Was that Palais Royale at the time? I think it was, right? Christopher Sheldrake, the man with the master plan. It's a fake bottle. I mean, anything's possible. They claim they only sell legit perfumes. Yeah. How close is number 6 to Ottoman Empire? None, not at all. None. I wouldn't put it at Ottoman Empire at all. It's much closer to Cuir Canage. Imagine like you took Cuir Canage and you made it Serge Lutens, right? So you gave it that Uncle Serge, like, how a lot of Serges are slightly challenging here. The challenging bit, I think, comes from this funk. There's like this sweaty, cuminy undertone mixed with the leather and the iris. I get a lot of iris from this, way more iris than I thought. I didn't know Cuir Canage had, I didn't know Cuir Mauresque had this amount of iris in it. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, stunning. Also bought Silver Oud from them, and it's awesome. Huh. Guessing. My bottle of Promise doesn't last or project as I expected. Bought it in March this year. Need more time. Promise is one of the biggest fragrances I've ever smelled, too. That's crazy. My empty sample of Diaghilev smells stronger than some of my frags. Yes. I mean, literally, I can smell the cap, and it's like, fuck. It's so unbelievably strong. I got a Lucky Scent sample of Diaghilev 1.5 years ago, and I can still smell the empty vial. Yeah, it's crazy. Diaghilev is so strong, one spray feels like too much. It is strong. Strong. Dude, if you can get a vintage bottle like I'm smelling, fuck. Oh my God. I mean, even if the new one smells 80, 70% of this is amazing. One of the best leathers I've ever smelled. And as a leather lover, that is saying something. Yeah, me too. And this is a first batch. This is a 2012 gold pre-Estee Lauder gold juice. Yeah, I absolutely would go for this. 100%. I would go for a bottle of Noir de Noir vintage. It's fantastic. That is absolutely brilliant. Had to go do a spray. A less strong Promise actually sounds great. The original is a slap in the face. I love how big it is. It's just like, fuck you. I mean, it just gives zero fucks. Roja sold his company? No. I was saying I wouldn't be surprised. Someone said they wouldn't be surprised if Roja sold soon. And I said I wouldn't be surprised if he already has been selling pieces of it off, because he almost seems to be now more like even more of a figurehead. But I don't know anything. I mean, that's just me promulgating. More chance of finding a Jedi or Guerlain Cuir de Russie. First batch Tom Fords are impossible to find. I would love, absolutely love. I mean, I did a review of Jedi off of a decant, which I smelled and I loved. But if you gave me a choice, I would take Guerlain's Cuir de Russie, because that is just so rare. Man, a bottle of Guerlain's Cuir de Russie, that might top me off. Challenge accepted. Shit. All right, my voice is cracking. If you find some, hit me up. You have enough unopened, discontinued stuff, sir. You need to come on stream and open some stuff for the first time and smell it. Forget that once a week shit or once a month. You need to just do like we are doing here, a blind, well, it can't be blind, but a first-time sniff of some of these outrageous bottles. I hope I'm not just getting nose blind to it, because I just did 5 sprays and went out. Hope I didn't kill anyone. Nah, you'll be good, man. You'll be good. But this is an awesome stream, everybody. Thank you very much to everyone who joined. Do lick the stream on your way out. It does help with the old YouTube algorithm that I swear is fucking me over, because it's not letting people know about my videos dropping or the live streams, some people are saying. But still, it does help with the algorithm. So leave a like before you leave. Thanks for watching, everybody. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, Armando, the man of the hour. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.